Get ready for the AI revolution, because we are diving straight into the biggest strategic debate shaping the future of artificial intelligence in India. We are looking at the intense discussion surrounding whether India should focus on building its own trillion-plus parameter large language models or leveraging existing global technology. This is a massive decision with huge implications for national strategy and technological sovereignty.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, we explore the competitive landscape of this AI race. We'll break down how India's potential domestic LLMs would stack up against giants like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and formidable Chinese rivals such as Alibaba, DeepSeek, and Moonshot, examining the scale and ambition required to compete at the frontier level. But the stakes go far beyond just model performance. We are also tracking the real-world security implications, looking at how the restricted release of Anthropic's Mythos model is forcing a critical look at cybersafety, and who gets access to cutting-edge AI capabilities, and what this means for India's digital defense. Finally, we pivot to the business reality of this ambition. We examine how Krutrim is strategically shifting its focus from building frontier models to mastering cloud infrastructure and sovereign compute services, showing us the pragmatic path for an Indian AI champion to monetize its vision in emerging markets. Stay with us for the full breakdown. India faces a critical strategic dilemma regarding the development of large language models, prompting a debate over whether the nation should invest in building its own trillion-parameter models or focus on leveraging existing AI tools. While some experts advocate for utilizing current models to maximize efficiency, given resource constraints, the increasing strategic application of AI, ranging from battlefield advantage to cyber warfare, is rapidly shifting this calculus. The global landscape is signaling the urgency of indigenous development. The restricted release of advanced cyber gap spotting models, such as Anthropic's Mythos, highlights a significant technological deprivation, potentially locking India out of crucial cybersafety alliances dominated by US-based entities. This dependency raises serious concerns about strategic autonomy. Proponents of homegrown LLMs argue that securing domestic models is essential for national security, ensuring India is not beholden to foreign entities whose interests may not align with its own. The logic of mutual assured destruction, applicable to AI warfare, suggests that possessing a retaliatory capacity is necessary for deterrence. Despite these strategic imperatives, challenges remain, including access to high-end AI chips. However, advancements in alternative hardware, such as Huawei's Ascend chips, and the success of models like China's DeepSeek suggest that technological barriers can be overcome with government support. Startups like Sarvam AI are already demonstrating feasibility, with models operating on substantial parameter counts while optimizing computational needs. The core challenge for India now is translating strategic necessity into the political will required to compete in the intensifying US-China AI race and achieve the quantum leap necessary to join the elite tier of frontier LLMs. India is facing a pivotal strategic debate regarding the development of domestic large language models, with a recent opinion piece arguing that the case against building indigenous frontier AI models has significantly weakened. The central tension revolves around a choice between leveraging existing global models and investing substantial resources into creating large-scale, domestically developed LLMs, specifically targeting trillion-plus parameter scales. The editorial frames this as a strategic autonomy issue rather than a purely economic calculation, emphasizing national security and sovereignty rationales. Proponents argue that such large-scale models would position India directly against global leaders like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and Meta, as well as major Chinese competitors such as Alibaba, DeepSeek, and Moonshot. This push for indigenous frontier models contrasts with the viewpoint of some prominent Indian IT leaders who advocate for a more pragmatic approach, building applications and agents atop existing global models rather than developing entirely new frontier architectures from the ground up. Industry observations highlight that nations address strategic autonomy by investing heavily in domestic compute infrastructure, proprietary data pipelines, and specialized research talent to mitigate external dependence. While building frontier models is capital and expertise-intensive, the landscape has evolved with more modular techniques, including efficient pre-training recipes, model sparsity, parameter-efficient fine-tuning, and retrieval-augmented generation, which lower the barriers to entry for advanced model development. For practitioners, the evaluation metrics are broadening beyond raw benchmark performance to include crucial factors like data governance, onshore inference availability, and regulatory control over model updates. Observers are advised to monitor policy developments, including funding for AI compute, public sector data sharing initiatives, government procurement rules favoring onshore solutions, and collaborations between Indian research bodies and global technology vendors. The debate over domestic LLM development is set to influence procurement strategies, data governance frameworks, and research priorities across the region. The government has clarified its approach to managing risks associated with frontier artificial intelligence models, emphasizing a strategy focused on continuous understanding rather than exclusive access to any single model. In response to parliamentary questions on Tuesday, Senior Minister of State for Digital Development and Information, Tan Kiat Hau, addressed concerns regarding advanced AI capabilities. He stated that the government does not have direct access to specific models like Mythos, nor is it aware of any local bank that has been granted access. More fundamentally, Tan Kiat Hau stressed that the government does not expect to have early access to every frontier model. Instead, the focus is on maintaining close working relationships with various partners to monitor capability developments and assess the associated safety and security implications. He underscored that the core issue is not limited to any single model, but represents a broader, underlying shift in capabilities. Tan Kiat Hau asserted that the risks involved are real and that the government is treating these risks with the seriousness they demand. Krutrim, India's first generative AI unicorn founded by Bhavish Agarwal, is strategically pivoting its focus from developing frontier AI models to establishing cloud infrastructure and sovereign compute services. This shift marks a pragmatic recalibration aimed at securing a sustainable revenue stream for a national AI champion in emerging markets, acknowledging the immense capital and competitive barriers posed by global leaders like OpenAI and Google. Krutrim's initial ambitious vision encompassed a full-stack AI build-out, including proprietary large language models for Indian languages, a sovereign cloud platform, domestic AI silicon development, and supercomputing infrastructure. This vision positioned Krutrim as India's comprehensive answer to the AI ecosystem, seeking to achieve technological sovereignty. However, the commercial reality of competing head-to-head on frontier model training costs and performance gaps, where massive capital is required for state-of-the-art models, proved commercially challenging. The company is now focusing on the revenue layer where immediate monetization is possible. The pivot to cloud infrastructure is driven by the realization that Indian enterprise and developer spending is primarily directed toward compute needs. Krutrim is positioning itself to serve this demand by offering GPU compute availability within an Indian legal and regulatory jurisdiction. This aligns with growing regulatory pressures in India, where tightening data localization requirements for financial services, healthcare, and government data create a strong procurement preference for providers operating under Indian jurisdiction. This regulatory tailwind offers a more predictable and defensible path to scale than competing on model performance. The analysis suggests that the national AI champion model in emerging markets often converges on infrastructure and sovereignty revenue before achieving dominance in model capability, a pattern seen globally, from France's Mistral securing European sovereign contracts to the UAE's G42 building its business on government data center contracts. This strategic move mirrors the expansion pattern seen at Ola, where the company consistently moves toward market layers, offering structural advantages supported by deep domestic knowledge and regulatory relationships. While cloud infrastructure is capital-intensive, it taps into immediate, high-value customer needs. The trajectory suggests that for founders in emerging markets, the viable monetization path for AI ventures involves leveraging market specificity, regulatory positioning, and sovereign compute arguments rather than solely competing on frontier model benchmarks.